Me?
Oh.
No.
Yesterday, the other day, you sat over there. And you were sitting there, then you moved back over there.
You know, Coach, I'm getting so old, I can't remember where I sat.
You ain't dead. All right, after watching the film, obviously we're disappointed that we didn't get a win in the game, but look back at the reasons why. Did some things really better in the game at times, played some good football, and at times, let some plays and opportunities get away. And that's what it's got to get down to. You got to make every play on every situation in big moments and big key plays. And we had some that we could have, we just got to execute at the right time, call the right things, be in the right things, and get those things ironed out. But our kids played hard. They were physical in the game. I thought offensively, we ran the ball much better, more consistency. One of the things we eliminated on offense was a lot of the penalties. But the week before, we had some motions, holding some things that shot ourselves in the foot. Last week, I think we had just the one motion penalty that we were able to overcome on that side of the ball in that scenario, which helps us. You're not getting negative plays, you're not getting behind the chains, which I think helped us sustain drives and move drives because we consistently moved the ball. For the most part, had a couple situations we did one time on a 2nd and 2. We never got that 2nd and 2, ended up not getting the first down. But unfortunately, had the interception off the first drive. That's about one there. We got to make that play, got to make that catch. But we can put the balls off the back number, we can put it on the front number and get a better angle on a route and clean that up. And that gave them some things. Our defense did a really good job on that occasion of stopping, holding to a field goal opportunity, which they made. And what we did, and we scored offensively. Offensively, got to finish a couple drives in the red zone, had opportunities to do it. Just got to make those plays when there were different reasons we did. We missed a block on the protection one time, thought we had it, and the other one I thought we could have read the other way. And played. And special team, thought we punted the ball extremely well, thought we covered well. One kickoff return that we were able to return. We hit for a nice return to about the 33, 35-yard line. Doing a really good job there. We had one punt return that was a really big play in the game that got us down to the 50, and they called it, but that I'll wait to get a ruling on. I totally disagree on how it happened. I know how they called it, but I know what happened. He was blocking another guy and got knocked into the back of another guy. They weren't even participating together, so I thought that was a big play in the game, but we'll look and see. Defensively, Seth Small was outstanding in the game. Seth was outstanding hitting his kicks. He has been all year. He's been making his kicks, our snaps, and hitting crucial kicks and big plays at the time. I thought, going back offensively, going back to the end, I wish we had got the 2-minute drive and we could have finished that one drive, but unfortunately we had a pass and a negative run. So got within 2 points there. And defensively, I thought we didn't tackle as well in space, missed tackles, leveraging the ball, things, and not enough. We got to find ways to get better pass rush. We brought pressure at times. We didn't get there. They blocked us pretty well. We got a couple, I think 2 or 3 sacks in the game I can think of right now. Off the top of my head, there's 2 or 3. I can't remember exactly, but got to find ways to get more pressure, mix it up. They did a good job on 3rd down, and they hit some crucial. We got a crucial penalty on 3rd and 16, which cost us about 7 minutes of time, which we would have had the ball back in the 4th quarter, like 6-7 minutes earlier, with more opportunities that they capped, and they ate up about 6 more minutes of the clock, which is critical. And then on the next to last drive was a 3rd and 7 that they were able to convert. That we didn't get covered down in where we're at, and that cost us a lot of time. And then at the end, didn't have as much time, but had a chance still with 2 minutes and like 30 seconds to go. We might possibly get a drive, and we didn't. But there was a lot of ifs, ands, and buts in the game. Thought we did get better in some areas. Some areas we got to find a way to make better plays. And certain things we do, we got to coach them better. We got to put them in better position, and go back to fundamentals. And like I say, there's wish there's somewhere here to say there's a magical formula or a potion. It's about going back and being fundamentally sound in the things we do, our concepts, our schemes, and when having 11 individual battles and you winning your battle within the concept of the offense, the defense, and the special teams allows us to be successful. And how we coach them and put them in those situations. So we'll get back to that. Play hard, guys. Again, obviously we're very disappointed and down. But I understand that there's a lot of football left and a lot of work we can do and a lot of room that we can get better, and we have to do a better job coaching and playing. So that's it. Questions?
Down front, Brent.
Would you mind taking us through the process of play calling, how involved Coach Dickey is? I know it's obviously a passion of yours. You got to be on your toes. You got to be.
No, we all have suggestions, and we have our calls going into the game and where we're at, gaining information up top, what they're in, what they're doing, and how it's going. But at the end of the day, I call the plays.
Right, and I guess my question is, how do you do that? And I'm not saying philosophy-wise. I mean, actually, how does the process work?
Just call the play on the headset, and they signal in.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how often do you interact with Coach Dickey?
Every play.
Every play, okay.
And other coaches on the staff are, and when our drive's going, they'll be giving me down and distance field positions, and we know what we've talked about going in that drive, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish.
And you talked about defensive adjustments as the game went on, and you tried man and things like that. What did you see from the tape in terms of?
That, we did get home with some pressures. They blocked us, and we had to tightly cover got to cover a little better to allow that to get home, and then play and get there if we can, or maybe come up with a few others, and got tackle in space better. We had some opportunity, we just didn't tackle in space, and we had a holding. We had it covered down, had a perfect scenario with about 14 minutes to go, and unfortunately got a holding call on a pass interference that cost us a big play. So, there's a lot of things we can do better. And obviously, listen, when you don't win a game, you go back and you reevaluate everything, you look at everything, you ask why you made that call, why you made this call, why you made that call. You do that each and every day of everything you do. When you win, still making sure why you do it. But when you lose, you're evaluating everything. And like I said, we just got to coach better, play better.
Left on the aisle, David.
Jimbo, how do you coach against allowing the negativity, the losing to penetrate the locker room?
You block it out, turn it off. Turn the social media off, turn y'all off. I don't mean that in a bad way. You gotta lock into that room, and only in that room, and the people, the family, and understand that at the end of the day, listen, y'all are doing your job. Everybody has their opinions, everybody's doing their job. Quit. When you write something good, don't listen. When you write something bad, don't listen. Move on. Eliminate the clutter. And that's you have to learn to do that. And in our society at this age, and this young group, it's a very hard thing to do because they live, eat, and survive on it. They've got to learn to turn it off and understand that's part of growing up, that you're going to have to grow up, and people are going to doubt you, they're going to love you, they're going to, all based off what you do on a Saturday. And that's the world we're in, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's what what fans should do, and that's what writers should do. But you have to eliminate and understand who's really with you, and what has to happen, and who's going to, how you got to listen. And when you have down times or bad moments, you got to circle the wagons and trust the people right there with you, and that are in the trenches with you, and play ball. At the end of the day, what you got to do takes maturity.
Back
And it's hard for guys, hard for young men.
Sorry, Coach. Back behind the lights, Tyler.
Coach, this team's no stranger to playing Alabama or even playing the top-ranked teams. So does this team right now have what it takes to pull off the upset on Saturday? And what's that going to take?
If we practice well and play well, and we will. We have to go get a good plan. We have to practice it. We have to perfect it during the week, and then we have to execute it on Saturday. And
is there any more, excitement or energy knowing that you guys have them at home, and just to have a team like that at Kyle Field?
No, listen, every game to us as a player should be the same. Your opponents are faceless. That's great to be in a big game and all that, but you can't look at that. You have to play the same no matter what you do, how you do it, and how you prepare. Each and every week has to be exactly the same. And I know people don't believe that and don't think about it. If you're going to do it and do it well consistently, that's what you have to do.
Go second row, Olin, and then Travis.
Yeah, a couple of things, Jimbo. First of all, you said, pointed out that made some progress in the running game, and how much of that do you think was a byproduct of Kenya moving back inside?
Well, could be either way. In that game we played well, but Kenyon was on the line before tackle too. So just depending on scheme and how each game plan went, but he played a nice game inside, and hopefully we'll continue to play that way.
As a veteran football coach, and I know you've shown it here before that you don't mind putting freshmen out, but are you uncomfortable at all with the idea of having true freshmen starting in your offensive line? I'm sure that's
No, those are the best players right now. Those are the guys that play the best, and that's what you have to do. We got some guys that are banged and bruised and had some injuries, and guys who've had, haven't been able to. Have unfortunately had to get medical. And some guys we recruited I thought were going to be really good players, but that's the world we're in right now. We've got some injuries on the other part of it. Like I say, Luke Matthews he had surgery today. He's out. Which will be out the rest of the year. I know you'll get the injuries, but there's older guys, but those are the best guys right now playing, and they're doing a really solid job. Would you like, in a perfect world, I'd like to be in 1970 again, where every freshman was redshirted. I know that sounds crazy to a point where you let them mature and grow into the kind of players they can be, and let them do that. In the perfect world, before they do that, but that's not the world we're in. Guys playing as freshmen are out of here by juniors. Or a redshirt junior year, whatever it is. So that's the world we live in.
Back then they didn't come to you at 320 pounds either, right?
Yeah, but it was all relative to what they were playing against. The other guys they were playing against weren't 320 either.
We go left side, Justin, and down front, Travis.
Coach, obviously you're around Zach every day. where do you think he is confidence-wise right now, and how do you make sure he gets?
I think he progressed, and in the game, that there's plays. Anytime you're the quarterback and you don't win, everything is going to be scrutinized. And every throw, you touch the ball every time. And there's some throws and plays he'd like to have back, surely. And that's mostly every quarterback you ever play. And unfortunately, if we'd have made one more play and won the game, maybe it wouldn't be pushed as much. But that's the world. Again, that's part of it. I think he's learning, growing. I think his confidence. As you watch film with him, he understands things, and he's getting better and better each play. And and I think he believes in himself wholeheartedly, and I think our players believe in him.
Well, quick follow-up on those couple throws to Weidemeyer. I think on the corner route, he was wide open. And
Just missed him.
Anais was on the. He had one dialed up again in the end zone.
That one there was a little bit different. The one on the at the end, it was about right. There was a little bit of change in that route that had to happen because of the coverage, and he had to hold it and throw it a little bit differently. The first one he should have zanged. He could have made the second one. Should have made the second one. But also there was a little bit more difference to that, and steps and angles and things that went on to that too. But definitely he missed Weidemeyer coming off the end zone. That was, we only had 4 possessions. That was a big one because we didn't make that one. Then we scored a touchdown. Then we had the field goal. Then we had the 2-minute drive. That was the only times we had it, and that would have been a big play coming off.
Down front, Travis.
2 real quick, Coach. When you talk about blocking out the negativity, have you found at all that that's maybe a little bit harder for the guys because they've had to be so engaged with social media with the NIL stuff this year?
They don't have to be.
That's true.
Huh? No, I think they're learning that now, but that's a lesson. It's not just this year. I mean, listen, guys, I've lived on social media for the last, 10 years predominantly, 10, maybe 15, probably 10, logistically. I mean, consistently the way guys do it. No, that's just the byproduct of, what they are and who they are, and they have to learn to process it. I mean, that's the world we live in.
And how have you seen the game change with having guys like Ryan Pitzinger and the sports psychology staff on the sidelines, even to where they can talk before the game, right after the game, during the game with guys who might
We've
be
been doing that a long time.
Mhm.
I've been part of that on teams I've been on for over 20-some years now. And I think the biggest threat to athletes today is mental health. It's not physical, it's mental. Because of all the scrutiny and all the social media and all the things that are going on. You have no idea the psyche of guys and how they do it and the long-lasting effects of everything that happens to them. People have no earthly idea what they go through. And that's the biggest detriment in our game today, period. And so you have to deal with those things. And we've been doing them for a long time. I've had guys on staff, full staff, when I was assistant, when I was the head coach for years. We've kept a big part of that. And understanding how to think, understanding failures, understanding successes. I mean, both ends of that, failure and success. I mean, that's just the world we live in today, because we all think we have to tell everybody what we're doing, why we're doing it, and all the good things. But again, that's what we are. So I think it is a very big part of our world and things that go on today, and for those kids. So that's a big part of our commitment to those kids, to help them deal with all the issues and different, not just good. I mean, not just bad, excuse me, but good things too. I mean, that's all part of it. Understand them, how to keep them consistent and deal with all the ups and downs and things, and what to do, what not to say, and what to expose yourself to in the social media world.
And how does that help y'all as coaches when you can have them in that moment?
Oh, it helps them big time, because you can have someone right there that you as a coach, you get used to dealing with that too, and there's a lot of things you can say, but at the same time, having professionals there that deal with that all the time, that you can immediately get them time with, or talk with, or just have a conversation with.
Go to the left.
Hi, Coach Fisher,
Hello.
Jennifer Streeter with the Battalion. Against Mississippi State, we saw Haynes King move off of his scooter and onto crutches on the sidelines. How is he progressing in his recovery and still staying on the playbook?
Oh, he's good. He's in every practice. I mean, he's in every play. If you look, he's talking to Zach every time he comes off the field, gaining information, helping, talking. I mean, Haynes is in every meeting, everything we do. He loves it. I mean, he's healing, but it's going to be. I mean, he has to heal up. He has a broken ankle, so that doesn't just it'll be a long time. I think we're going to make sure he's fully healthy in the things he does, and he's progressing very nicely in what he's doing. But his mind is into the game plan, calls, meetings, helping, seeing, everything. He's doing everything he can possibly do.
Coach will stay on the left on the aisle.
That's Kay with the Battalion. So Saturday will be another matchup for you and head coach Nick Saban. What can you say about Nick Saban and just his success at Alabama?
I mean, it's extraordinary. He's done a great job. He's built a great culture there. They understand how to win. They understand how to do those things, and they build it in there, and those players are playing it, and to maintain it. And like I say, they do a great job. They're fun. As you watch them, they're extremely talented, but they're very fundamentally sound. When you watch them, they're a very fundamentally sound football team, and that's the key. Like I always say, ordinary things. They do the ordinary things very, very well, and their athleticism is spectacular. But at the same time, their fundamentals are very good and they do them very well.
Third row on the aisle, Ryan, and then we'll go left, Cease.
Hey Coach, we heard from Jalen Watermeyer earlier today, and he said he felt like his breakout game of his whole career, honestly, was 2 years ago against Alabama. So now, 2 years later, what kind of growth have you seen from him, and what do you expect going into this same matchup here?
Oh, hopefully, Jalen is an outstanding player. He's learning. There's another to deal with success and failures and different things that happen, highs and lows, expectations, things that go on. And if you don't get the numbers, but I thought he played one of his best games last week. I thought he played a really good football game last week when you watch the film. I mean, blocking a lot of little things, route running. When he got in the ball, caught a touchdown, caught a couple, had some other balls we could have hit him with and tried to target him with, but his routes were clean. I mean, it really gotten better and better, and he's progressing as a player. And I thought played a really good game. And like I say last week, and dealing with, as I say, thing he's learned to do is there's high expectations on him, and sometimes you get caught up in numbers when you do that. No, just play well. The numbers will happen, things will happen, everything will be that way. And I thought he did that last week.
Go to left, Cease, and then Cole down front.
You've talked before about the standard for your program, and you've touched on the standard Alabama set not only for the SEC, but for college football. So since you played them the last time, do you feel you've closed that gap? And if so, why? And what do you have to do to continue that?
Well, I think we got to continue to recruit well. We got to continue to coach well. We got to understand and build the fundamental culture of what we do, and also stay a little healthy in what we do to get guys the experience and have the numbers to play. But I think we're recruiting really well. But I think they're a very good team. Whether we close the gap or not, I feel confident in the guys we have and what we do, and where we can go in the future of this game, not just this year, but future, and of where we're going, how we're recruiting, and the things we have, and hopefully we'll be able to close that gap. But they're doing a great job.
Down front, Cole, then to the back, Mike, and then Brent, you wrap us up.
Jimbo, when you look at Alabama, they're not just a factor when it comes to recruiting talent, they also are coordinators as well, and how the coordinators can consistently change. Have you noticed anything different from what they've run last year with Steve and what they're running with Bill? And has the adaptability of what Nick's been able to do with coordinators been part of the success?
They're going to run their offensive and defensive systems in place. Those guys come in and run that system, and I'll get into it later, but it's I know that system very well. They do it well. Those guys are going to come in. That's the way he wants to play, and that's the way they're going to play. And we've got good players, and that allows the consistency of it, where you don't, because if you let that go when you're not having coordinators and you're constantly changing systems, it's hard to create continuity. It's hard to create continuity that way when your system constantly flips. And they're very similar. Now they may feature some different plays this year than they did last year based off talent or players, or when they had the four first round picks and at receiver, but they still got really good ones right now too. But they play a little different, but still the same scheme. Still the same.
Go back behind the lights, Mike, and then Brent, you'll wrap us up.
Coach, when you guys go through a losing streak, it's just 2 games, how beneficial is it to have some veteran guys in the team to help keep them around?
Well, you do. Guys have been through things and understand they're more mature and then understand that I always say things are never as good as they seem and never as bad as they seem. You have to, and if they're going to change, you have to change them. And I think the veteran guys help the young guys with that, because I think young people get so outcome oriented, just like everybody does. We come outcome oriented, and the way you change the outcome is change the fundamental day-to-day process of being fundamentally sound and being able to play that way consistently, down in, down out. And like you say, the other day, if we make one more play, we're in good shape. But all those games, that's the way they all get to, whether you win them or lose them. You'll go back and look at most of your games when you're playing the SEC competition, a big competition, it gets down to 1 or 2 plays. You got to be able to make them and execute at those key times. And I think older guys can help our young guys explain that to them and help them get through it.
Brent, you'll wrap us up.
Yeah, but talking about the sustained success at Alabama, it comes through depth. Do you feel like
Well, depth and consistency of play.
Okay, in terms of how do you feel like your depth is coming along? Maybe the past 2 games have shown you still have a little ways to go on that front.
Yeah, we do, and we have injuries. I mean, in our injuries where we're at, we're having some guys that you wish could grow up before they have to get thrown in there, but they're in there and they're having to play, and that's part. But that's football. You don't know when those times are going to come. I think we're building much better depth than what we're doing, and guys in the program longer that understand what we're trying to do and the schemes and the systems, just like that we're trying to establish.
And Miles Jones, did he undergo surgery?
Miles underwent surgery. Like I say, on offense, you got Luke, Haynes, Chapman is still out, Hez is still out. You got Miles who underwent, and you also have Brian George who won't be with us the rest of the year.
Did George undergo surgery?
Not yet.
Okay.
He may. Where we're at.
All right, appreciate that update.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you. Huh?
Is Chapman going to be all right?
He's out for the year?
I don't know, no, I don't know that. I don't say that, just day to day.